members from our community. Actually, even better, we have our brothers from our Jewish brothers who've been standing with us since day one, since before this 366 days of terrorism. They've been standing with us every day, whether it was in Ottawa, in Montreal, in Toronto, in New York, in Philadelphia, anywhere. Our Jewish brothers who are standing and calling for a free Palestine. Please welcome our rabbis.
With the help of the Almighty, I pray to the Almighty to bestow upon me His truth, His wisdom, that I may be worthy of conveying His message, and so, inshallah, sanctify His name and bring peace to the world. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It is very, very hard to speak on the issue that we are here together, an issue that is boggling, mind-boggling, beyond words, beyond any comprehension of humanity. To watch day after day, a complete year, 365 days going on. How could this be? How could it be possible that the world is still silent? I am a child from parents. My father escaped from the Nazis. His parents were killed in Auschwitz. He ran away. It was over 5 years that they murdered, they gassed, they killed millions of people. And everybody feels guilty. The world makes remembrances about the Holocaust. And the remembrances is for a purpose. The purpose is not because you want to study history. It is that it should not once again, in humanity, this type of crime happen. And yet, we are witnessing, every one of us, today everybody has smartphones, everybody is able to witness every individual that gets murdered. Pure people, children, men, women, everybody has a history, has a long life, a whole narrative, families.
Never again!
And the world is silent. The world is silent. We want you to know that because we are Jews, we have to speak up, and we do speak up around the world, whether it's in the streets of Al-Quds, whether it's in the streets of Jerusalem, whether it's in the streets of New York or Montreal or London, the very religious communities, because we are practicing our religion, we cannot and we are not silent. Judaism is a religion of 3,000 years. Zionism is a movement of a little over 100 years, 140 years. Judaism is to be subservient to God, to emulate to God. Mahu racham avatutei racham. Just as God is compassionate, you must be compassionate. It is an obligation, a covenant we made with God to uphold the words of the Torah. Zionism was created by a group of monsters, a group of people who got together for the selfish will to create their own haven, a place for them where they wanted for their convenience sake. And they picked Palestine. Why did they pick Palestine for this national home? Because they knew they'll tell the world, they'll use the narrative of the Bible, they'll tell the world that God gave the Jews the land, and we are following in that step of the Torah. We want the world to know that being conned, they're being duped, that it's false. The rabbis who understand the Torah, the communities who are true to Judaism, are clear in condemning. We are not permitted, since the destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago, although we went through the Inquisition, we went through the Crusades, went through so many thousands of years of trials and tribulations. The rabbis we never created even 1 centimeter of a Jewish sovereignty because it's forbidden for us. While these Zionists are using my name to create this monster and they're calling it a Jewish state. How dare they? Judaism doesn't permit us to have a state even in an uninhabited land. In a desolate land, it's forbidden. That's why we never made it. But certainly, to create a state by oppressing, by throwing people out of their homes, over 500 villages, by taking the land from another, killing and stealing, where in the Torah it says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. How dare they? And therefore, the rabbis from day one stood in opposition. They stood up, they demonstrated, and they were assassinated. Whether it was in the streets of Palestine or whether it's in Europe, the rabbis who stood up against Zionism were mercilessly beaten and arrested. From Palestine, you can see, it is unbelievable. If this would happen in Canada, God forbid, or the U.S. or anywhere, it would be scandalous. There would be screaming anti-Semitism, yet with impunity, the Zionists mercilessly beat and arrest the Jews who are living there for hundreds of years and are claiming and saying that what you are doing is criminal. You cannot occupy another people. It's against God. In the United Nations documents in 1947, anybody and everybody here knows that the state was ratified by the United Nations in 1948, and in 1947, the chief rabbi of Palestine, not to be confused with the Israeli farce, the rabbinate, but with the true rabbinate that existed in Palestine, the chief rabbi, Rabbi Dushinsky, said, and I'm quoting him in the United Nations documents, we furthermore wish to express our definite opposition to a Jewish state in any part of Palestine. And we've been demonstrating from then until today, and we will not be silent, inshallah. We will not be silent because we cannot be silent. Although we believe there's an Almighty, and although we believe that everything is in His hands, and we urge everybody to pray to the Almighty to bring a complete removal of this occupation speedily, God help peacefully, without any further death and suffering. At the same time, we must tell you, do not be silent till that time comes. Do not be silent. Stand up. You will be accused of being anti-Semitic. But I'll tell you something. You can point to the very religious communities. I just flew in from New York, right across from Manhattan, the largest religious community, the largest community concentration of religious Jews is right across from Manhattan, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Tens and thousands of people, block upon block, mile upon mile. You go through there, you won't find one single Israeli flag. Why is it that the very religious communities, the more religious, the more anti-Zionist, if it would be critical, if it would be important for Judaism like the Zionists claim, why is it that the Jews who give their lives for their religion, who eat kosher, who dress modestly, who send their children to private schools, and they're the ones who reject Zionism? Why is it like that? Use your sense, your logic. Yet, what are the Zionists doing? They're the ones who are killing. They are the ones who are not killing. They're killing both Palestinians. They're killing Jews. And people are dying for their cause. So all this bloodshed of over 76 years, whose hands are covered in blood? It's the Zionists. They are the cause. Then who is the Europe, it was the Muslim and Arab countries that took us in, and we flourished without any human rights groups to protect us. We lived in the same courtyards as in Jerusalem and our courts. We babysat each other's children. It wasn't a question, it was simple. We all believe in one God. We were able to live together, we helped each other. What changed? Zionism, the introduction of a selfish occupation, is the cause of all this strife and bloodshed. Where is the logic? Where is the common sense? It's an insult to humanity and common sense to ignore the fact that it is Zionism that has caused all the suffering.
Yeah.
You are blessed by God with lofty positions. Do not abuse this gift that God gave you. Use it for what you have to do, righteousness and justice. You will have to answer to God one day. Grandchildren, when you ask, if a child asks his grandfather, you were a politician, you were a president, what did you do by World War II? Were you silent? Did you watch people being murdered? What did you do? What are these politicians going to answer when their grandchildren say, where were you when the Palestinian children were being murdered day in and day out? They'll have to answer. Therefore, we are pleading with them, listen. Do not ignore us because you're ignoring what you have to answer to God. Therefore, we are pleading with everybody. Although you be attacked as anti-Semitic, don't be silent. They're dying there. That's the least we can give to them. Let us all stand up together and not be silent and do what we can. And God will help, inshallah, with His compassion. He will bring an end to this occupation, inshallah. Judaism, yes. The state of Israel must go. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. The state of Israel must go. Judaism, yes. Zionism, no. The state of Israel must go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Zionism. Free Palestine! 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, free Palestine! We oppose Israel because we are Jews! Thank you, Assalamu alaikum!
God bless you!
Thank you!
These are the true Jewish people whom we lived with for hundreds of years, babysat each other, and fed each other, and stood against the occupation together. Give it up for our Jewish brothers. And just like our Jewish brothers committed, and are fighting, and are pushing with us, our rabbi came from all the way from New York to Ottawa, and he's on his way now to Montreal to participate in their protest as well. I want you guys to be inspired from them. I want you guys to show resilience just like they are. And now a quick word from a trusted community member.
That's the hard thing.